The world is not prepared for what's about to happen next. Currently, we're living in a very harsh and dangerous world. It is not safe anymore. Be prepared.
I got interested in history when I first read a book about past eras and inventions and wars that impacted the modern day world. Like, for example, World War I, World War II. And it has given me an awareness of what's happened in the past and the knowledge of things that has been invented and what impact they've had on our modern day world.
War is like a terrible storm that sweeps across lands, leaving destruction and chaos in its wake. It's when groups of people, sometimes whole countries, start fighting each other, often because they can't agree on something. Now you tell me, how silly is that? We're destroying the world just because we can now agree on something. Why should we destroy our world for the sake of our wants? Why do we go for violence? World War I and II happened not because just people started fighting and all that. It's because people wanted more land and leaders wanted more and became greedy. Now I'm not saying every one of us did this, but we still can do something to create peace with one another. And believing all that, even in the 21st century with all this technology, there's so many wars going on. The Russia-Ukraine, Palestine-Israel, and there's no peace in many countries just because of people's wants and greeds. We should not settle to create a world full of smoke and misery because of this. We need to keep peace in countries or when it comes to your family, starting even with cousins or siblings. And we need to ask ourselves, and there's just one thing to ask: why? Why should we destroy our world? While war might seem like just fighting, there are so many things that affect us. Life loss. People are constantly getting killed, abused, and suffer because of war. Economic consequences. War impacting economies, destruction of trade routes, and destruction of infrastructure. This is all part of economic consequence, and we are also ruining the country's GDP. Why? Political instability. Governments may face challenges in maintaining control over their territories, power vacuums, and factionalism, and the political extremist groups may mark post-war periods. Psychological trauma, violence and disruption, trigger disorder, anxiety, mental health issues, and mental disorders. Environmental degradation. Guns and machinery are leaving our world and environment in smoke, dust, mud, and ecosystems are getting ruined. There are many more out there, so instead of destroying people and our world, let's create peace, let's stay in harmony, because us doing that, everyone doing that, is saving millions of lives.
There are many wars that happened in the past, and one of them being World War II, which we all know was started by a dictator named Adolf Hitler, who controlled Germany, and started the war in 1939, but ended in 1945. But of course, with millions of people dying, so many of them being Jews and many more being soldiers, and World War One, so most people surprisingly think it was started by Germany, also like World War Two, but it was actually started by an assassination on Serbian Duke Franz Ferdinand. But Germany, along with its allies, did escalate the situation, and its allies being the Ottoman Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire, and some more. But it did eventually end in 1918. And moving on, it's the Napoleonic Wars, which some of us might actually know was started by Napoleon, and it started in the 19th century, but eventually it did end by Napoleon getting exiled in the islands of St. Helena. And then another one was Civil War, which was actually a fight about slavery, the main enemy being actually the South, which wanted slaves to still exist and to not be free and to not have freedom. And also, the North also fought for slaves, but they fought for slaves to be free and have freedom, and also for it to end worldwide.